Thank you, Dionisio. Good morning, and welcome to the Greenville Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. My name is Sabrina Walker, and I serve this congregation on the board as trustee and the 75th Anniversary Committee. Whether you have been with us on Sundays for a long time or are visiting us for the first time today, we welcome you to our service. This congregation is diverse in beliefs, with participation open to all who agree to embrace our covenant, mission, and values, regardless of your partisanship or lack thereof. We are a welcoming congregation to people of all sexual orientations and gender identities, races, ethnicities, and abilities. We unconditionally welcome you as your full, authentic self to our community of care, spiritual growth, and personal growth. Our congregational mission is to strengthen our connections to one another and our planet by enlivening minds and spirits, building community through liberating love, and advocating fiercely for justice. It is custom in this congregation to acknowledge visitors and newcomers. If it's your first time here, would you mind raising your hand so that we can acknowledge you? Welcome. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. The green mug is here for newish folks or new folks to be met in the fellowship hall so we can easily spot you and speak to you during our coffee hour. You are also welcome to fill out one of the gold cards located in the pew in front of you so you can stay informed regarding all our activities. Simply drop the card in the offering basket or in the box at the hello table in the foyer. Please know that whatever your religious history, whatever your spirituality, all people of goodwill are welcome here. Your presence makes us better. Your presence makes us whole. Our service will now begin.
Good morning. I am Anna Crow, your worship associate today. The spark of love resides in us all. We are free to act from it, or not. If we choose love, how will love shape what we do? If we choose love, how will it improve our actions? If we choose love, how will I treat those around me? If I choose love, will I find it when life gets hard? If I choose love, will you also choose love? Love begets love, and it is love that lights our chalice.
The words of Ralph Waldo Emerson. A person will worship something, have no doubt about that. We may think our tribute is paid in secret in the dark recesses of our hearts, but it will out. That which dominates our imaginations and our thoughts will determine our lives and character. Therefore, it behooves us to be careful what we worship, for we are worshiping what we are worshiping. We are becoming. Now, please rise as you are willing and able and join in singing hymn number 347, Gather the Spirit.
Good morning. I'm David Funderburk. I'm the Director of Religious Education here at GOOF, and I'm excited to say that after taking a break for the month of June, next Sunday we'll resume having programs for children and youth on Sunday mornings. So without those programs during the month of June, we don't have quite as many kids with us in the service. So for our story today, I welcome any children or youth or really anyone of any age who'd like to come up front and sit in the front pews or at the base of the steps to hear our story today. Please come forward. So please, if you are willing, repeat after me. It is good. It is good to be. It is good to be here now. It is so good to be here now with all of you today. And this last Sunday in June, it's the last day that our theme for the month has been freedom. So an interesting thing about freedom is that no matter how free you are to do whatever you want to do, or go wherever you want to go, or be whoever you want to be, you always have to start from where you are and who you are and what you're doing right now, right here. So whether here is in the sanctuary with me right now, or whether here is at home watching on the live stream, I'm happy that all of us are here. And our book today is called Here and Now, words by Julia Dinos and illustrations by E.B. Gooddale. And it's a meditation on being present here and now. Right here, right now, you are reading this book. This book is in your lap, or in your hands, or in someone else's. You are sitting, or you are standing, or you are wrapped up in bed. Under your bum, under your feet, is a seat, a floor. Or a cloud, if you are on an airplane. And under all of those things is the earth, the grass, and the dirt, the earthworms and the fossils, the rocks. And the earth is spinning in the middle of space. We don't know why, but it is. And you are too. Right here, right now, while you are reading this book, many, many things are happening. Rain is forming in the belly of a cloud. An ant has finished its home on the other side of the planet. Somewhere, a telephone is ringing. An idea is blooming. Grass is pushing up through cement. A friend you haven't met yet is sitting down to dinner. There are animals, wild ones and tame, living and breathing all around you. Muscles are growing, cities are growing, babies are growing, cuts and broken bones are sewing up and healing. Unseen work is being done. Right here, right now, you are becoming. Isn't it wonderful? Before we end, I want to read a little section of the author's note in the back to you. Right here, right now, you are done reading this book. But the story hasn't ended. Like this moment, you are full of every possibility. What will your story be as it grows right from this spot, right where you are? Thank you for listening. You can go back to your seats.
The offering we take each Sunday is an opportunity to recommit to this place and to these people. It's as much a ritual as singing together, lighting our chalice, or reading our closing words as we extinguish the flame. It's a reminder, that form of love that we call generosity. It is how we show we believe it is important to worship together, to help our community, and say yes to the values of our faith. Your gifts will be most gratefully received. It is custom in this fellowship to share the joys and the sorrows that shape our lives, honoring each one with the lighting of a candle. We all have moments of celebration and struggle. By sharing these experiences with one another, we can support and uplift each other on our journeys. From Candy Kern and Richard Fuller, mourning the loss of our dear friend of 15 years, Missy Worley. She was fatally injured in an auto accident on June 19th and died the next day. She leaves behind her husband and partner of over 38 years, 2 children, 2 grandchildren, and 2 other partners. She also leaves a giant hole in the heart of a community family, hoping she is now in the midst of a number of giant loving pandas, her favorite animal. We will now light one final candle for all of the joys and sorrows that remain unspoken. We will now observe a moment of silence before the meditation words begin.
the words of Marcus Aurelius. Meditate often on the interconnectedness and mutual interdependence of all things in the universe. All things are mutually woven together and therefore have an affinity for each other. Well, what's up in that tree you're barking up? The coon is cowering in the sycamore tree, but the hound dog is baying at the loblolly pine. Friends, that dog is barking up the wrong tree. And what about us? We do it all the time. Here's one example, and I have several today I'm going to share. Are you looking for happiness? Wrong. Try looking for meaning and purpose. The happiness will find you. If you look for happiness, you might find yourself taking shortcuts, which can often end up in disappointment and misery. What is happiness anyway? I believe it is different for each one of us, but whether it is a person or an animal, even a plant, we are truly contented when we are successfully doing what we were intended to do. That's where happiness lies. A happy frog is a frog that is successfully doing all the froggy things that frog is made to do. Catching flies with his tongue, squatting on a lily pad, croaking in the twilight in search of love, seeding the pond with up-and-coming tadpoles. That froggy is so happy. Well, what if you see that happy frog and say, okay, I want to be happy. I'm going to go sit on a lily pad, croak in the twilight, and catch flies with my tongue? A wrong answer. The real lesson from the frog is, what is my purpose? What am I made and meant to do? Listen to the universe. Set an intention. Fine-tune that intention, because life is a feedback loop. When a life lesson hails you from the side of the road, pull over and welcome it aboard. You'll be amazed to learn that you have the same destination. It's powerful. Happiness is what you discover and experience along the way. Set an intention. Stay on track. Happiness will take care of itself. Here's a second example of a tree you don't want to bark up. Losing weight. Your doctor tells you to lose weight. Your digital scale is telling you to lose weight. Wrong again. While you're barking at that loblolly pine, the coon is cowering in the sycamore tree. If you want to lose weight, I'll save you some time and trouble. Just go to O.P. Taylor's toy store on Main Street and buy yourself a yo-yo. Instead of losing weight, think about gaining health. Once you start gaining health with lifelong sustainable habits, an appropriate weight, appropriate to you only, there's no standard, but an appropriate weight will gain you. Friends, we're spending too much time howling in the pine barrens when we should be setting up base camp under the sycamore tree. And here's another one. Are you trying to find true love? Wrong again. What we need is connection. Of course we need love, but it's not something to seek out. It's all around us. It's like the air we breathe. Looking for love is based on the false premise that we don't already have it. What we need and sometimes lack is connection. Love will find us if we work on our connection. We're all in this world together. We're in it with each other. We're in it with puppies and kittens. We're in it with snakes and snails and fruit of the orchards, plums and apples, and even asparagus. We're all in with all the good and love that surrounds us. We're connected to the loblolly pines and the sycamores and the cowering coons, and most of all, we're connected to each other. And as we find and affirm and cultivate that connection, happiness will find us, health will invigorate us, and we will experience the love that is the substance of our being. So I've talked about 3 goals. Instead of pursuing happiness, find meaning and purpose. Instead of losing weight, gain healthy habits. Instead of looking for true love, find connection. What are the common factors in all these pairings? The goal, as first stated, is set in the future. I'm going to find happiness. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to find true love. But the revised goal is all about the present. I am living a purposeful life. I'm engaging in the best practices I know for optimal health. I am in love today with whatever comes my way. And in the reframing, you describe a journey, not a destination. In a book called The 4 Disciplines of Execution, there's something called lag measures and lead measures. Lead measures are predictive of the future. They are things you can change in real time. You are eating a healthy diet. Lag measures look back, taking stock of things you've already done, which is too late to change. You can find meaning and purpose today. You can make healthy choices today. You can find connection today. As Eckhart Tolle famously said, stress is caused by being here and wanting to be there, or being in the present but wanting to be in the future. As James Clear says, success is the product of daily habits, not one-in-a-lifetime transformations. It is not in the single heroic effort, but the daily habits. You can do one of those 30-day plans and drop a bit of pounds, but it's the daily habits of a lifetime that will enable you to maintain your health in a way that eventually comes to seem normal and routine. You can go on a housekeeping cleaning jag and see your house in a temporary state of order. I know about that. But it's not the same as daily habits that make order and beauty seem normal and routine, such as making your bed every day. Some guys do that. M. Night Shyamalan wrote, there are 2 columns of everything in your life. One column is things you have control over. The other column is things you don't have control over. And a lot of times you think you have control over that other column, and you really shouldn't put any energy into that column at all. When my husband, Jim Fowler, died 4 years ago, Wednesday was the anniversary, everything around me reminded me of him. And I wrote this poem, Things He Last Touched. The pecans he shelled while watching Rachel, the unlaundered shirt with its lingering scent, the camera that captured his last orchid photo, the sagging cushion on our red leather couch, the fob that opened his old gray pickup, his boots his socks, and my heart. The Stoics taught us to know what we can change and what we cannot. There's no need to ruminate over what might have changed an outcome. My wise grief counselor taught me to inventory what gave meaning to my relationship with Jim. He cautioned that I don't need to imagine that I will find a single source for all the beauty, joy, and companionship that Jim and I shared. The hiking, the travel, the stories, the laughter, dining, meeting new friends, all the things that Jim and I experienced together don't have to be rediscovered in a single source. More than 3 years after Jim died, I had not started dating. I attended plays and Broadway musicals with friends. I met friends for coffee. I took hikes and long walks with friends. I even told a friend if I were straight, I would marry her. And last week, a woman told the same thing to me. But I was not yet ready to look for a long-term relationship until one day last February, without my seeking it out, Facebook showed me its dating website. I'd never used such a website and didn't even know Facebook had one. Still, I checked it out, mostly out of curiosity, answered its questions, and waited. And guess what? In this bizarre haystack, I found a needle. He lives in Tennessee, well past the 50 miles I specified, but his home is only But his home is only 22 minutes out of the way when I'm driving to my cabin in North Carolina. Meanwhile, as I realize it now, I was not following my own advice. I had imagined I would find the perfect man, we'd get to know each other, and soon we'd be together till death do us part. After all, that had always been my experience with Jim. But every time I brought up a possible future with this man, he began tapping the brakes. Wisely, he said, let's live in the moment. Take it day by day. And then last Saturday, he texted me, Walter, you're a great guy. We are not a match for more than friendship. And in the jigsaw puzzle of life, our two puzzle pieces just didn't fit together. At one end of the puzzle, I was a butterfly sipping on milkweed, and at the other end, he was a moose munching the leaves of a balsam fir. Was not a perfect fit. And yet, in a way, we will never not be together. As I wrote to him, I've learned a lot from you and from our time together, and that will always remain a part of me. He wrote, you needed our connection, and I miss you in my life. As I said earlier, instead of seeking true love, find connection. Connection is everywhere. We're all connected. We only gain when no one loses. If we seek to harm others, we separate ourselves. So let's join hands and know that we belong. And when I say we, I mean all creatures, wolves and lambs, sharks and goldfish, roses and pitcher plants, and even mushrooms. Happiness consists in living out and fulfilling our purpose. Unlike the reptiles and other creatures, however, your gift as a human being, what each of us has as our special gift is the ability to seek and find a purpose within the constraints of our existence. Viktor Frankl, in his great book, Man's Search for Meaning, wrote in depth about his experience in Nazi death camps during World War II. He noted that the number of prisoners dying increased as Christmas approached. That's because many prisoners imagined they would be liberated by Christmas, if only they could hang on that long. But as the season approached and it became apparent that no such liberation was forthcoming, they lost hope, and with it, the life that was sustained only by hope. The key to survival was not looking ahead to liberation, but finding purpose in the present moment. He did. I'll recommend the book. How is it that other creatures, frogs and dogs and even gerbils, live in the moment while human beings struggle to do the same? Is this gift of imagination also our curse? Today, as trouble looms over our land, how do we find hope? The first thing to know is that you have agency. You cannot control all the events around you, but you can control what you think and feel. Also know that hope is about the future. Purpose is about what we do now to claim the hope. Hope may depend on outside events and the actions of others. Purpose is always and forever under your control. And where am I going with this? Let's circle back to my friend's advice to live in the moment. I thought I was looking for true love when I was really finding connection. The good news is I'm still experiencing connection. If you're casting about for a sense of purpose, consider that something small you may do could be huge for someone else. You can leverage your connections. Here's a poem I wrote about this. Just a word. When self-doubt, like an avalanche, buried me, slumping, elbows on knees, tears upwelling, palms to my face, reduced to uttering guttural grunts that I hoped no one heard, did you know that the kind word you dropped near my shoulder lifted me? Just a word, carelessly spilled, like a goblet of forgotten wine, lifted me up. Let me leave you with this thought. Think of the biggest problem you face in your life. Can you reframe it in a positive way, set in the present in a way that will carry you forward into the future as you can possibly imagine? If this works for you, I'd love to hear your story the next time we are together. Now let us stand as you are willing and able in the singing of hymn number 9.
Please join me in saying the words on the screen as we extinguish the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
We are all strong, but strong in different ways. We are all broken, but broken too in different ways. Together in this place, we bring our brokenness and march in with our strength, and with that strength, bring healing. Together, we are one.